the only program showcasing the people.
Hello, I'm OC Talk Radio, streams live from UCI. Certified fundraising executive, Dawn has received many awards, including the California 34th Senate District in the Arts 2020 Woman of Distinction, Women of Influence 2019 Women Breaking Barriers Award, and Institute for Community Impact 2018 Founders Award. Thank you, Dawn, for being on Impact OC.
Thank you, Dawn. It's great to be with you.
Well, Dawn, please explain how you're able to accomplish the Wooden Floor's mission, which is to empower low-income youth to strengthen their self-esteem, self-discipline, and their sense of accomplishment through dance, academic, and family programs.
Thank you, Dawn. It's great to be with you. You know, one of the things we love is just we live a life of purpose and passion for moving young people forward. And we do that by transforming the lives of young people in low-income communities through the power of dance and access to higher education. And we do that over a 10-year journey with the student and their families. And so we begin with students in 3rd grade, and we stay with them all the way through high school. So we offer them dance education with academics, college and career readiness, and social services. Because they're all low income, they really need those supportive wraparound services to help them attain all that they need in life. And we do that through a really integrated approach. And since 2005, 100% of our students have graduated from high school and immediately enrolled in higher education. And even in COVID, we're really happy to announce that we're on track for our 17th class in a row to graduate our class of 2021. So we're super proud of that. We're also scaling our model. We grew to 2 locations in Santa Ana in 2018, and we have our first licensed partner in Washington, D.C., who began implementing our model back in 2018 in Washington, D.C. They're replicating exactly what we're doing here in the D.C. area.
So explain how dance is part of all of this.
So we believe really dance is the core of student transformation for us, especially in light of the pandemic over this last year. Really, dance helps students learn about themselves. We always say in the world around them, especially right now, it's about expressing themselves, connecting, even via Zoom and even in the dance studios. And so Zoom has provided a platform for them to come in, meet with the faculty, really get to talk about what's going on in their lives. But it's also about preparation. It's also about, we call it the 6 C's. At the end of a 10-year journey of a child, we want them to develop into 21st century learners. Not just, the goal isn't for them to become dancers, even though a few of them do become dancers and professional careerists, but we actually want them to become 21st century learners and young people. So it's really around what we call the 6 C's: creativity, collaboration, communication, character, confidence, and also courage. We want students to emerge as confident and courageous leaders when they leave the wooden floor. Today, 64% of our students are leaving the wooden floor and declaring STEM majors. And even though our students, it is not a STEM program, we really believe that those careers of the future are ones that will need those 6 C's in order to be effective for children to really compete in this 21st century economy.
Explain what it looks like in terms of a typical day for a student involved in the program.
Even in Zoom, we are actually running all of our programs and our wraparound services all in the Zoom world. So a student will have their regular school day via Zoom or in class if they're at a regular classroom setting at 4 o'clock, between 4 and 8 o'clock every day, Monday through Saturday. We're running their dance classes. And either before or after their class, if they need academic tutoring, they'll have an academic tutor that is case managed to make sure, which is our differentiator, is that it's not just a drop-in kind of opportunity like a homework help. We actually get their report cards every semester, analyze them, and make a case for where they need that academic support. We give them a tutor, their own dedicated tutor for that session. and they meet between an hour to an hour and a half a week for that tutor. Then we also offer them walk-in now with Zoom. When they sign up, they do it. We have an appointment schedule where they meet with a tutor as well if they need to do additional tutoring, or any student can. All of our tutors teach at the AP level, so they can take students all the way into high school. Sciences, mathematics, and history, and other kinds of subject matter. Then we also offer them college and career planning beginning in 6th grade, because they're with us for 10 years from 3rd grade all the way on. We offer them college planning in 6th grade. So they meet with their one-on-one academic advisor beginning in 6th grade. And then what happens is after that, they have different curriculum at each grade level. A 6th grader, it's really about really focusing time management, learning about what's the different, the differences in procrastination, organization of your homework, your backpack, things, turning in your homework, something as simple as that. But, as they get into high school, it's about how do you create a resume, volunteerism, how do you look through your A through G requirements, how do you keep your grades up, how do you get good sleep, how do you create good study habits for yourself. Then they're junior and senior career searching, also into financial aid planning. And then once they do get accepted to their colleges, it's also in weighing all their financial aid packages to make sure that they are picking the right package for them and their family. Many of them will get some sort of financial aid because of their financial place they have. Most of them will receive some sort of financial assistance, but some of them may need to take a little bit of scholarship or financial aid assistance. And we talk about that with them, that maybe a little bit of loans may make a difference in their life to get them to where their goals are.
So are they doing the dance via Zoom at home, or are they actually going to the studio?
They're doing it all via Zoom, and they've been having great attendance. We've been having really great participation of all of our students in the studio of their home. So it'd be like me dancing right here, and you would be teaching right there. So it's pretty amazing how adaptable the students have been, and courageous, like I said earlier, to be on camera, and the awkwardness that comes with that from youth, and your teen years, and also our families were very supportive, that we know that our families come from families that may have 2 and 3 families living in the house, so maybe they don't have a lot of space. So we even have children that dance outside, they dance in stairwells, they dance in their bathrooms of their homes because they don't have that kind of space. But we just honor that and say, well, you're doing the best you're doing right now. We're so proud of you for doing that.
What kind of dance?
So we offer ballet and modern dance. So because we don't have the ballet bars at home, we teach them that everything is a ballet bar, a chair, a chair, a kitchen, a counter, whatever they can have, that we offer them also modern dance. So that modern dance is really about the mind, body, spirit of helping them connect their bodies and creativity, and bringing their own expression to movement. And while we train in ballet and modern, the children only perform in modern dance. And this year, we normally perform at the Irvine Barkley Theater for our annual concert. And this year, we actually are doing a site-specific work at the Wooden Floor campus in July. We moved our concert from May and until July. Because we wanted a bigger space in the midst of COVID, but we also created the piece that could happen outside, because we wanted that. So what's going to happen is the audience will move, but the dancers will move inside of the different spaces around the building. So it's going to be a really terrific project. And we're working with the choreographer, Stephen Kaplowitz. He was the dean of Cal Arts, and he's an expert in site-specific work. He's done work inside of New York and other places around the world.
So how many students are involved?
Right now, there's about 90 students involved. So we start rehearsals this week. So we're excited about it to see what happens. And everything is COVID safety protocols. Our staff, we're having smaller groups of students rehearsing in smaller spaces. They won't have crossovers of staff. We're taking all protocols into effect.
So does a student need to get in at third grade in order to be in for 10 years, or can they enter in fifth grade? How does that work?
So traditionally we have an annual audition each October. It's always the third Saturday of October. And we generally take students between third now to fifth grade in those ages. And if a student auditions in third grade and for whatever reason they do not get in, then they can re-audition. I say unfortunately because we normally have about 300 students line up for about 70 spots every year. So we turn away, unfortunately, about 80% of the children that we can't take because of space and resource constraints. So even though we grew to a second location, our goals have been to, expand, but we want to do it very thoughtfully and not over, over constrain the organization. So we went from 375 students to 475 students in 2018. So this year, because of COVID, we moved our auditions into Zoom. We moved to have a virtual auditions, and we had over 100 students audition online, and we accepted 71 students. So, and I can tell you, I was part of it, watching it and being a part of it. It was a full hands-on event. Every staff member literally in our organization, from administrative team to program team, dance faculty, and our accompanist, we have live accompaniment in the dance studio in our live classes, but also in the auditions, just made it a great experience for the children to come through. So we're going to do our fall auditions again this October.
Give us some stories of students who've been through the program.
Well, I don't know where to start. There's so many. I just think currently one of the things that I'm really proud of is that we now have 2 alumni of the Wooden Floor on our board of directors. It's been something that we have wanted. Both students and both women are both college graduates today. They both are representative of the strength of our community. They went first generation to go to college in their families. And one, Alex, who's on our board of directors, she came in as our first alumni representative. And she put herself and her family, she went through Chapman University, graduated with a bachelor's in business administration. She received an internship from the Wooden Floor Connection through Opus Bank, and they hired her full-time out of college, and she now is working for a new bank and as a compliance analyst, and she's now returned to Chapman University getting her MBA today. She was on our board as our first alumni representative for 3 years, and we just voted her in as a full voting board member of the organization this year. So for me, that's just a proud moment to see her overcome so much, and for her family. Her mother is so proud of her and all that she's accomplished, and now she's giving back. So she's also connecting us with other potential donors. She's representing the other alumni in our community. She's a great role model amongst the children. She's at career day events with us, and she's just such a great role model amongst our communities. So now that the organization in 2023 will be 40 years old, we're seeing today that we're really trying to really focus on sharing the alumni stories out there of just what they're doing. Another young woman, her name is Sofia Sinez. Sophie is just announced that she received her first patent for a new app she's developed and a new database software that she's created. She did it on her own. She looked up the app and she created the patent and filed it on her own. And it's less than 3% of the nation have Latinas involved in writing patents. And so we're super proud of her. We're going to announce her next month as our alumni spotlight. So our alums are doing great things out there in the world, and we're super proud of them.
How are you funded?
We're privately funded. We raise 95% of our funding privately. We have a generous and loving community of supporters that, when they really see what we're accomplishing, understand the sophistication and innovation we do with our work, and know that we deliver on our results. They make a long-term commitment to the mission, and we provided resources from individuals, corporations, and families and family foundations who really get behind our mission. So our budget today is a little over 3.4 million, and we raise right now about $2.7 million privately annually.
Explain the connection between dance and academics.
Well, you know, what we see, especially tying to the 6 C's, is that what you need today at that 21st century learner is really that project-based learning. And today in the school system, the schools that are really doing it really well are moving to that system of high performance and really bringing the opportunity for children to reflect, analyze, use critical thinking, and bring their own self into problem solving. And that's what dance does, at least at the wooden floor. It's not about learning a step. It's not about rote memorization. It's about you walk into the studio, you're asked, you're given a prompt and an idea of what you want to bring into this space, how you want to create a movement, how you want to create a step, how you want to collaborate and trust with your partner. And so those are all really 21st century needs of our community, and that really ties to academic performance. And so right now our all-campus GPA is 3.1, even in COVID. We do have students at 1.1, I'll be honest. We have students at 4.6. Our goal is to keep our students over that time that they're with us to keep moving up the GPA. But we're really proud of the fact that our all-campus GPA in the midst of COVID is 3.1.
Are you in need of volunteers?
Volunteers, we have a couple of volunteer opportunities when it comes to some of our events that we have in the community. And because of COVID right now, we're not having as many volunteers, but we also have some task forces and some committee work that we're working on where we could use some skill-based volunteers who are in the community that maybe want to work on strategy or marketing or something like that. And so if people were interested in that, I would be happy to talk with them.
What about the music for your program?
Music, we have all of our own musicians. Most of them are professional musicians. They work in the community, usually at the college level during the day, and then they'll work for us in the afternoon and the evening. So or they work in their own professional companies.
Do people wear costumes when they perform?
Yes, we work with, her name is Jenny Vaughn. She worked with the 1984 Olympics, and she was also doing costumes for a movie and TV and set design. And Jenny's been with us since almost our founding, doing costume design for us. We work with lighting designer Jim Ingalls, who he generally works with Peter Sellers and lights all over the world in the Met, and he and our stage manager works for the Joffrey Ballet during the year, and then works for us during 1 week during May for our annual concert. So we bring in top talent in to work with our students from across the country. And then also our choreographers are shaping the genre of contemporary dance. So our choreographers come from all over the country who are really at the top of their game doing really innovative work around choreography.
Have you ever joined in and participated in some of the dance programs?
I do get offered to move. I didn't come in as a dancer, but I have moved several times. Yeah, I love it.
And it must be amazing for you to see what they can do.
It is, you know, and I go into the studios now with Zoom. It's actually easier. I go in, you know, when I'm on campus, I'm always giving tours and showing people about the work we do. So I get to peek in the windows and see the kids, and I wave, and, you know, they know me because I'm walking around and talking to everybody. But during Zoom, it's nice because I can go into 2 or 3 classes at a time, you know, over like a short period of time. And so I love that. You know, they'll say, "Oh, Miss Dawn's visiting," and so I can come in and see them. And, you know, that's really what the heart of them, for me, the passion and purpose for me when I started off is really about the children. my goal coming out of college, I wanted to be a teacher and a principal, and my career went into business and technology and management consulting. And I feel like my purpose was brought here to the wooden floor because I've always had children and arts and education causes in my volunteer life. And I just feel like all of that was brought here centrally here at the wooden floor. So I really feel like I'm living my best life here at the wooden floor.
Dawn, how do you want to be perceived?
I would say love and loving our community and being a driver for change. Really, I'm a driver for change. I'm always looking for the best in everyone in the world around me. And so when I think of I always look at the best in people. And when I start with love, that's a really great place for me, especially in this community.
Well, thank you, the Wooden Floor Chief Executive Officer, Dawn Reese, for being on Impact OC. And I thank everyone for tuning in. I'm OC Talk Radio Public Affairs Director, Dawn Camber. Have an impactful day.
You've been listening to Impact OC, the only program showcasing the people and organizations shaping our community. Right here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.